So for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to do 4 races in 3 weeks. This weekend, I'm racing the Kinetic, Olympic, and Sprint. Unfortunately, Amanda could not come down until later tonight, so I did not get any footage of the Olympic this morning. The Olympic went okay. I got 6th. I know I'm capable of more than that. It was definitely a competitive field, but it wasn't anything too crazy. I had kind of a crappy swim. I don't know. It was really cold this morning. It was like 43 degrees, I think, when the race started. Never really got into a good rhythm. Got on the bike. It was cold and wet. What was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. I'm really tired. I pushed okay power. I was definitely hoping to go a little bit faster, but this course is not a fast one. I had a pretty good run though. It's, I think, the strongest I've felt so far this year. The course was a bit short, which I took care of by taking a wrong turn. It's really confusing. There was this sort of little out and back section that was maybe only 150 meters that they added that I checked and was definitely not in the athlete guide. It was definitely not on the course maps. But it's always the athlete's responsibility to know the course. I should have checked this morning. It only added 100 or 150 meters, but still a pretty solid PR. Feels pretty good to be solidly under 40 for 10K. Got the sprint coming up tomorrow morning, and I'm pretty excited. My goals are pretty simple for tomorrow. I want to just be as present as I can and stay in the moment and not, beat myself up for missing a turn or, worry about the run when I'm still on the bike. I want to focus on just executing the fundamentals to the best of my ability, because that's what it takes to put together a good race. And I want to have some fun. My watch had me like 18:20 on the run. For just a smidge short, but that's not bad. Less than 100 meters. That was awesome. I beat Jacob.
You beat him out of the water.
Yeah, I heard them say his name as I went into transition, because I started with him and it was chaos. Like, it was actually a lot crazier than yesterday. But then I heard him and Chris Roy's name on the announcer thing as they came through, and Chris was really strong yesterday, and I ended up riding with him pretty much the whole ride, and we worked pretty well together. And we caught somebody else, and we kind of took turns rotating around at 10 meters or whatever. Had good legs, went up the hill, almost died, turned it around. Big 5K PR too, so I'm pretty psyched at that. Of course, it's 4th again, but whatever. So I think it's pretty safe to say that that was my best race ever. It's definitely the only time I feel like I've really put all the pieces together and had a strong swim, bike, and run. I mean, from the beginning, I was so tired in the morning. I went to do my swim warm-up, and my shoulders felt like truly terrible. And I started to question if I was even going to be able to race, and I think I kind of convinced myself that it was all but certain that I was going to have a horrible race. And weirdly enough, I think that was what I needed to be able to let go of whatever expectations I had for the day
and not psych myself out about that, and be able to just, you know, do my best, go as hard as I can without worrying about sort of how that would play out. Right from the start, we had some really strong swimmers. I think there was maybe 6 or 8 guys on the way out to the first buoy. And I did my best to stay with them, but I got snapped off the back as we turned around. But still a pretty solid swim, like way faster than Saturday for the Olympic. When I was coming up into T1, I heard the announcers calling out names of 2 guys that have beat me before that were behind me coming out of the water. So I knew I was in a pretty good place at that point. And maybe just a mile into the bike, this guy Chris Roy caught me. I raced him Saturday too, and he crushed me on the bike. But we kind of ended up working together, hanging out at the edge of sort of the 10-meter draft zone. I think actually for this race it's technically 7 meters. But I wanted to, you know, play it safe to make sure I didn't get hit with the drafting penalty. But even when you're that far apart, when you're moving 25 miles an hour, it's kind of incredible how much of a draft benefit you still get. So we took turns for really the whole ride. We caught one other guy somewhere in the middle, rotated around a little bit. We were moving pretty good. About the same power as the Olympic, but went a bit faster. And came into transition feeling strong. I knew based on the Olympic run, sort of what I had to do for the sprint. The first K is a pretty solid uphill, and then it's rolling for a couple K and then downhill at the end. And I knew I just needed to go as hard as I could for that first uphill, or there was really no chance of getting back to a good time. So I just powered up the hill. There were 2 guys up the road from me. I thought I was in 3rd at that point, and just tried to close to them. Pushed as hard as I could, and yeah, I really couldn't close any space to them. And then I got to the turnaround and actually realized there was another guy way further up, and I was sitting in 4th at that point, which was like, I don't know, a little bit disheartening, even though I felt like I was having, you know, a really awesome performance because I just gotten 4th at Rumpus 2 weeks ago. But I mean, that's just the caliber of the field that showed up that day. You know, I don't have control over that. I only have control over how I perform. I think it was a struggle beginning of the year because I just didn't have a ton of run fitness coming back from Achilles tendonitis. That I never really felt strong on the run. I never felt like I could really dig deep. And this weekend was the first weekend that I felt like I could. I definitely proved to myself that, you know, a race like that is something I'm capable of, especially, you know, that was my 4th race in 3 weeks. I should have been super tired, you know. I learned a ton from this, and I think I'm coming out of it a lot more confident. And I have a pretty good idea of what I need to do to take it to the next level. So I'm going to take a little bit of rest, get ready to go again. All eyes on nationals. Definitely didn't expect my best race to be the 4th one.
I did. I knew it would be.
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.